All right, hey everyone, and welcome. If you're getting ready to take your quiz on ethics and professionalism, you are in exactly the right place. Think of this as your personal study guide, designed to make sure you walk in feeling totally prepared and confident. So here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to follow your study materials exactly, so it's super easy to follow along. We'll kick things off with ethics and safety, then jump into professionalism and integrity. After that, we'll cover your super important role in conservation and education, and we'll wrap up with a quick final check to make sure you're good to go. And look, the goal here is pretty simple. By the time we're done, you're not just going to know the answers to the quiz, you're going to get the why behind them. You'll see how all these principles connect to the real-life situations you'll be facing out there. All right, let's dive right in. First step, core principle 1, ethics and safety. Now, I want you to think of this as the absolute bedrock of everything we do. Seriously, everything you build as a fantastic guide starts right here. And this quote from the reference guide really sets the stage for us. It says, ethical conduct prioritizes the welfare of the environment and the people involved. You know, it's not just about what's in your head. It's about the choices you make every single moment to protect everything and everyone around you. So let's boil it down. What's the most important thing? Your number one ethical responsibility, the one that trumps everything else, is prioritizing the safety and well-being of both the wildlife and your guests. This is the absolute heart of quiz question number 3, so let's lock this one in right now. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? On one side, you've got the ethical priority, wildlife and guest safety. On the other, you have that temptation to just chase sightings, to get that wow moment at any cost. The quiz is going to present you with this choice, and the answer is always, always clear. A great experience can never come at the expense of well-being, period. Okay, so let's get practical. Let's put this into a real scenario. You're out on a drive, and you get this exact situation from quiz question 4. A guest asks you to get way too close to an animal. What do? Okay, here's your playbook. Step 1. You politely explain why keeping a respectful distance is so important for both the animal's safety and the guests. Step 2. You hold your ground. Simple as that. You do not move the vehicle closer. And step 3, and this is the magic part, you turn it into a teaching moment. You can talk about the signs of animal stress, explain why responsible viewing actually leads to a much better, more authentic experience for everyone. The key here is your response is all about education, not just saying no. Okay, that leads us perfectly into our next core principle, professionalism and integrity. This is all about how you carry yourself and how you build that critical trust and respect, not just with your guests, but with your colleagues too. And again, the reference guide nails it. Maintaining a high standard of professional conduct ensures trust and respect in all interactions. Look, this isn't just about being nice. It's about being that trusted expert, that reliable, calm presence for your guests from the moment they arrive to the moment they leave. So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, this slide breaks it down, and this is exactly what quiz question 7 is all about. It's not just one thing, it's the whole package, right? You've got to be knowledgeable, respectful, and engaging, but you also have to be an active listener and a clear communicator. It's all of these things working together. All right, let's tackle another big one, a scenario pulled straight from quiz question 6. It's one thing to manage your own behavior, but what do you do if you see another guy doing something unethical? Okay, this calls for a really calm and professional approach. First, you assess the situation. Is this behavior actually unethical or unsafe? Make sure you're seeing it clearly. Step 2, and this is so important, you do not participate. Avoid a big public conflict for sure, but don't join in. And step 3, you report it privately to the right person, like lodge management. Now, the quiz might tempt you with options like ignoring it or joining in, but those are wrong for a reason. You have to remember you're upholding professional standards for everyone. What you do or what you don't do reflects on all of us. All right, let's move on to our third and final core principle, which is conservation and education. This is where your job gets even bigger. You're not just a guide anymore, you're an ambassador. You become the voice for the wilderness, and that is a massive responsibility and a pretty amazing privilege. And this right here, from your study notes, is basically your mission statement. Guides are responsible for educating guests and promoting sustainable practices for the future of the wilderness. Think about that. The stories you tell, the information you share, it creates this ripple effect that lasts way after your guests have gone home.
So, a really key concept you need to nail for quiz question 9 is this idea of responsible tourism. What does that actually mean? Well, it's an approach to travel that actively helps protect wildlife and ecosystems for generations to come. It's pretty simple, really. It's about leaving a place even better than how you found it.
Yeah, let's be super clear about this. Responsible tourism is all about long-term protection. It is not about maximizing profits at any cost, which, by the way, is one of the incorrect answers you're going to see. The goal is always sustainability, not just a quick win. So, how do you actually do this? How do you promote conservation on your drives? Well, this slide gives you the perfect answers for questions 10 and 12. You can talk about the specific conservation work happening right there at Simbavati. You can explain how guests themselves can contribute, even in small ways. And you're constantly, gently educating them on how their actions, right there in the vehicle, impact the animals they're so excited to see. The big takeaway is that every single drive is an opportunity to turn a tourist into a passionate ambassador for conservation. Okay, we've made it through the 3 core principles. Now, before you run off and take that quiz, let's do a quick final check to really lock in this knowledge. First question for you. Take a second and think. Can you define the #1 ethical responsibility of a guide? Got it? It's all about prioritizing the safety and well-being of both the wildlife and your guests.
Okay, next one. Try to picture this in your head. What are the 3 steps for handling a guest who wants to get too close to wildlife? Did you get them? It's politely explain, maintain your distance, and educate.
And finally, let's think about the big picture here. Can you explain why it's so incredibly important to educate guests about conservation? It all comes down to this. Your job is to create ambassadors for the environment. You're helping to make sure these wild, beautiful places will still be here for generations to come. Look, you've gone through all the core principles. You understand the real-world scenarios, and most importantly, you know the why behind all the rules. You have absolutely got this. Now go take that quiz. You're going to do great.